when these people say ridiculous things to you, and as I mentioned some of them on the first day, people say silly things. So when my father said to me, "Why are you starting a business? You are not smart. There are heaps more intelligent women than you, and they all failed. What's going to make you succeed?"
You.
And you know what? So 5-6 years on, I can say because I have heart, and because I have love in my heart, and I have that ache and desire in my stomach to want to move beyond that and to be someone great and to make a difference. I never cry.
I'm all gonna cry.
It's the 3 days exhaustion.
Effect on people.
I'm a sook. I'm so sook. It's never when I speak. But that is why I do it, and because I can make a difference. So why am I successful? Is because I have heart, and because I take action, and it's positive action, and it's inspired action, and it always comes from the heart, because from the bottom of my heart I just want to make a difference, and I know that I have a gift and I can share it, and it's not about me, it's about all of you and making sure that you guys can be all you can be. And for me, that's what it's about. So over the 3 days, I think probably I was saying to Kath this morning, I always script everything, all of my presentations, everything I do is scripted. It's all a story, but I write it out first, and for some reason I didn't write the close of the 3 days. I didn't script it for no reason, but just I didn't know where to start. And so last night I was having a glass of wine and I thought, oh, I don't know, I'm missing something. What am I missing? I thought, I'm too tired, I just need to go to sleep. And 6 o'clock this morning I kind of woke up, I was laying in bed and I'm just thinking and piecing it all together, and my alarm went off, so I got up and I had a shower, and I got in the shower, got out of the shower, started getting ready, and I got it. I got it, that it summed up the entire 3 days, and I knew why I hadn't worked on the close, because I couldn't, because I didn't know what. I had a breakdown of what each speaker was going to say, but I didn't know what it was going to be about for them. And something that just happened throughout the 3 days was that there was this thing that kept on popping up, and it was probably all about moments. And we all have moments. So this morning at about 6:30, when my partner Chris was laying in bed and not even awake, I said, "You're going to have to make me a PowerPoint." He was like, I'm like,
what the?
I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to make me a PowerPoint. And I know, I said, you need to get this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And I could have did it, but I was curling my hair for
I appreciate it.
Chris doesn't, but
So Chris made me this.
Understood if it didn't.
No, but Chris made me this
Why didn't you
presentation.
just get him and curl your hair while you did the presentation?
that's a funny match.
I think you're pushing Chris's
Yeah.
luck at 6:30 on Sunday morning.
Yeah. So
No.
I said to him at the end, I haven't even seen it, so I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it's been pieced
I hope you
together.
just snuck some naked men in there.
Well, then he
Could
could
be
have. But when I did thank him, I said, look, I really realised that was off the cuff, and you've been looking after the kids for a couple of days, and it was literally 6:30 on a Sunday morning. I said, thank you. And he went, you're just lucky you were naked when you asked. Here it is, and for anyone who's heard me speak, I speak about my business life, and when I talk about myself, I talk about somewhat about my journey. I don't go in depth and in detail, and often people will say to me, like a couple of weeks ago I spoke and she looked at me and she's like, did you start like in business? If you started a business 6 years ago, you must have been like in high school. And I'm like, thank you, but no, my life started from this is going to sound really silly before you see the slides, but it started from a really young age. And some of you know it, kind of parts of it, but I don't talk about it. But for some reason it's about moments. And as we've all heard, we've all had moments, and sometimes they happen early and sometimes they happen, at a later age, and sometimes they happen continually throughout our lives. And I really believe that they happen just to make sure that we're being authentic to ourselves and we're living our purpose and our truth. And so everything that you've felt everything that's come to the surface over the last 3 days, it's been for a reason. And so now is the time. I said on Friday that we need to make a new story, okay? And we need to create a new story and take not the pain from our past, but instead use it to inspire us, to remind us of just how far we've come, and now we can create our own future. But we do all have moments, and sometimes we have several moments, and for some reason I just wanted to share mine for the first time. Let's try and get through this without tears.
Need to turn your lights off.
Yeah.
Can you turn the lights off? You'll see it better.
Yeah,
Should we keep
actually,
going like
yeah, they're
that
over
then?
there. Yeah, you can if you want.
There's no one there. Sorry for talking.
Yes, that's right.
We tried that on Friday.
This, I can't remember how. I do remember how old I was. No, I don't. I was.
About.
You look like you're about 11.
I was probably. I think I was in about grade 5.
Yeah, but
11.
There's
a teacher in me.
So when I was in grade 5, this was the summer holidays, and I went up to. I was born in Shepparton, and this won't come out fluently because it's not scripted and it's just me telling the story. I got sent up to my cousin's house. We lived in Shepparton. They lived in Wagga, still live in Wagga actually. Because I come from a very violent background. And I used to get beaten when I was this age, and from a younger age, and all throughout my life, but it got really bad. So I got sent away. So this, when I come home, I said, Mum, I can't do it anymore. It has to stop. I can't. That's it. Either you leave or I leave. I have to. I can't live like this. Thank you. And so eventually, that was a moment for me because I left. We left. She left him. So that was that's probably not even my first moment, but that was probably the moment. This was another moment, because, and even before that, I left home when I was 17, because since then, my mother found another boyfriend who used to beat her up. And so again, it happened again. So at 17 I left, and I had to leave because I couldn't watch my mum, I couldn't watch my I didn't even mind me getting beaten up, I just hated seeing them get beaten up. So in between there, then I left and I went to Alice Springs, and I swore that it would never happen again. Before too long, I found a violent partner, and he used to beat me up. And I nearly died one night because he strangled me. And he picked me, when I tried to break it off with him, he picked me up and he had me by the neck and he was squeezing really tightly. I don't even know what colour I was. I can't even say.
Well,
I
you
couldn't
weren't
breathe.
looking at yourself in the mirror.
Well,
at that
that's
stage.
right. So, but all I remember was I was off the ground. I was dangling and I couldn't breathe. And just divine intervention as my housemate, who wasn't scheduled, she wasn't due to finish work so early, but for some reason, she just happened to finish early, work early one night, and she come home. So just as she was walking through the gate, and I was literally fighting for my last breath, she walked through the gate, and Adam dropped me. But you know what? That wasn't even a moment for me. I walked away, and he left, and I was literally curled up on the bathroom floor and trying to just get myself together. Did I go to the police? No. Did I go to the hospital? No. I just wanted just to be me, just to be there on my own. I wrote the words, I've got to break the cycle and stop the war because I've had enough. And that was probably a moment for me, but at 6:30 this morning we had nothing to piece together. But then from there, I just thought, I just need to get away and I need to be free and I need to find myself and I just need to move on. So at this stage, I'd become a hairdresser. I went to work on luxury cruise liners in the spa department. I got trained by the world's finest and biggest spa company in the world for health and fitness on land spas and cruise liners. I had access to the most incredible management techniques. It was not just about, their sales to service and their management skills, but they just had this ability to install something in our hearts that we were in control and that in this lifetime we get to choose what we want. And for me, for the first time in my life, I was free. And that was a massive moment for me because the first time I got to step up, I was always confident and I always protected my family. I was the protector, but I couldn't find myself and I wasn't free to be myself. So this, for me, I was free. So this is us in San Fran, I think.
But you wish you had your cloud app so you could have gotten into that.
So this was us and no, it wasn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter where we were, somewhere
Somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the world. But
Surely.
I'd like to travel the world and get paid for it, but most importantly, find myself. And so I got to come home and create another moment. 13 years ago, last week, I got a watch because we celebrated our 13-year anniversary.
No.
And we're more in love now. This is our first holiday, so I was 21. So so that was our first holiday together. But for me, it's about, I get to experience love. So for me, it's the big picture, It's not just about a business, it really is about creating life and that unconditional love. And, when I read something a few months ago and it said something like, you find the perfect partner and they help you unpack your baggage. And that's what Chris did for me. And in a lot of ways, he still is. He drives me crazy because he doesn't have an entrepreneurial mind like me. But that's not the reason why I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him because for the first time in my life, I had security. And it took me a lot. So the reason why I loved him then is totally different to the reason why I love him now, 13 years on. But we're still in love. And I do love him to bits. These are my two girls.
Gosh, Lily's grown.
Yeah, she has, hasn't she? So, and as I was saying in summer, they're a driving force. So this is another moment in my life, and it just, to be present. Yeah. and I will be totally honest and say that, you know what, motherhood and parenthood doesn't come easy to me, and it
It doesn't come into anybody,
and
it's not a
some
secret.
people it
Some
does. Some
does.
people it
Yeah, it
does.
From the outside?
No,
No,
some
no,
people
some
it
people
does.
does.
Some people it
Yeah, it
does.
does.
Some people it
2%,
does. You know,
I reckon.
it's.
I just can't believe the amount of people who have children when it doesn't though.
Yeah,
But you don't
2%.
know.
You don't know.
Even when you think you really, really want kids and you can try for years and years to have them, you get them and you don't realise.
Yeah.
You just don't realise. But anyway,
Sometimes the ones
but
that
I really
just
want them
know.
to know that you know, I was saying to Kath last night is that, you know what, that in their lifetime they can achieve anything. So I really want to be a role model to them.
Yeah.
Chris just got confused because the photo back. Told you.
He actually wants more children.
This here was supposed to be a photo of my Madison in the school uniform, an incredibly sick baby. So it was supposed to be a heartbreaking photo of her in neonates when she was first born, because when she was born with a condition, a very serious condition. So I just gave birth to her, and she got taken away and she got sent to the children's, and she had to get operated on immediately. I had to ask after just, you know, giving a 15-hour birth whether she was going to live or die. So she spent the first 5 weeks at the Royal Children's Hospital. I spent maybe, I think 10 hours or something in